Hey y'all, hi! I'm so excited about this video. Today I am going to show you the new way in which I am organizing my clothes. I have reorganized, I'm doing it differently now in the hopes of making it a more joyful and easier and a more successful experience to get dressed every morning. So first I'm going to actually give you a tour of the physical space where I'm now storing my clothes and show you how I have them organized. Then I'm going to explain what I hope to gain from this arrangement. So like, what are the forces that led to me making this decision and what I imagine that the outcome will be. And then at the end, I'm going to talk about how you can do something similar, even if your wardrobe and your physical space are both quite different from mine. If this is your first time to my channel, I hope you like it. I hope you subscribe. I hope you'll click through the link and check out my book in the description box down below. I am a published poet who makes videos on YouTube about fashion and beauty and the philosophy of those things. And let's get right into the meat of this video. Okay, so context. We moved to this house about 1.5 years ago. Until recently, there wasn't anywhere in the actual bedroom for me to store my clothes. There's a little closet built into the bedroom, and that is where Joe keeps his clothes. And I have more space for my clothes, these long louvered door closets that you've probably seen in other videos, and I'll show you some video footage here. That's the kind of space I need for my clothes, but those closets are in an entirely different part of the house, like a different floor of the house. And it has become increasingly clear as we've lived here that it's not practical for me to have those be my primary closets from which I get dressed. I needed some way to have some of my clothes in the actual bedroom so that I could get dressed and put my clothes away at the end of every day without total mental and physical chaos. So I actually filmed some on-site footage with a mic showing you the wardrobe that we built into our bedroom, which is new, and its contents. So let's take a look at that now. Okay, so I never film like this except for Patreon. So it's kind of experimental, but I feel like this is the best way. I know it's a little bit more unpolished, but I feel like this is the best way to show you the situation and kind of talk you through it. So this is, gosh, should we zoom out or something? Oh, there we go. As you can see by the broken fan on the ceiling, everything in the house is still a work in progress. So it's the IKEA Pax wardrobe. This side is big. My dream has always been to have an area where I can keep an edit of my clothes that are the clothes that I am wearing all the time right now and that I want to be wearing all the time right now, and to have them hung in a place that's long enough that my dresses can hang without getting bunched up at the bottom, and that my long pants can hang. This is a really tall wardrobe. It goes essentially all the way up to the ceiling. I've only hung one bar in here, so there's more than enough space for that to be true, and we were even able to put a little sliding drawer basket at the bottom for sheets and blankets. So a lot of what's in here are trousers and jeans. I feel like when I open this part of the wardrobe, I'm almost always looking for a bottom half, like trousers and jeans. Then I'm either going to wear a shirt with a collar or a sweater and a t-shirt, like a sweater layered over a t-shirt and a tank. And that's what's in the other skinnier part of this wardrobe. But really the heart of it, and what is sort of my guiding light, is like this collection of trousers and jeans, because clothing my bottom half is like the hardest part for me. So having this edited, but pretty robust, having this robust section here, it makes it easier to get dressed. And it's usually my starting point. Now, you know, I love a button down shirt, and you know, I'm trying to wear more prints. These are the kinds of prints I'm willing to wear right now. And, you know, they're all grouped here. White button downs with some character. Very, very often, this is what I'm wearing. Something from this section and something from this section. And then I put 2 dresses in here and a skirt to try to encourage myself to wear them. I'll be talking about that in an upcoming video. Okay, before I show you the rest of the wardrobe, I'm going to take a minute to talk about one of my favorite sponsors, Fabrique, and you'll get to see some of the clothes that I've been wearing too. Here's what I want to say. I have been working with this brand for close to 1 year now, and I can tell you that I wear these clothes a lot. As a creative professional and a parent, I am essentially looking for artistic, sturdy clothes. I want that balance between form and function, and I have a high bar. And Fabrique's offerings are an amazing fit for me, with the added benefit of the flair that comes from the designers themselves, who are so knowledgeable about fashion and so plugged in. They have this beautiful collective design model. So they work with top-level designers around the world, giving each designer the chance to create exclusive pieces. Browsing the site, and I have felt like this from the very beginning with this brand, you can tell that each piece comes from a highly creative mind and from the point of view of an industry expert. It feels like a cross between a design house and an art school. And that's like my dream. So here are some examples. The Rowan two-tone reversible jacket is by the design duo Synhestatic. Their bio says they're experts in balancing lightness with structure. They have designed for McHugh by Alexander McQueen and for celebrities like Beyonce and Kate Moss. I love the curved sleeves of this jacket and the soft structure. This gorgeous lightweight tencel and wool plaid is by Rebecca Bach, who spent more than 10 years as head of women's wear at G-Star Designs. And this blouse that I'm wearing today is by Naomi Richards, who has designed for COS, which that tracks for me, and Rodebeer. This fabric is a very lightweight blend of silk and wool, which is a dream. Caroline Smithson, the designer of these fluid, polished suit pants, the Hallie pants, has an incredible resume, including Louis Vuitton, Amelia Wickstead, Roxanda, the Chloe Prize. I really like these pants. And these really perfect brown denim pants, which I have been wearing on repeat. They are by LVMH winner and Woolmark finalist Thebe Magugu, who has also collaborated with Dior, AZ Factory, Valentino, and Adidas. The pants are amazing. They are sculptural and elevated, but they also have like a crafty, easy quality that makes them make sense for everyday life. I'm also excited to share that the Rialto bag has been released in new colors, including this breathtaking stone gray. I've talked a lot about Fabrique's new handbag collection in past videos and in my 2 recent handbag review videos, which I will link. My Fabrique bags are some of my most carried and most beautiful bags, which is unsurprising because the designer Valeria Masai is the former Bottega Veneta women's leather goods director, and she's also worked on bags for Prada, Miu Miu, Jill Sander, Helmut Lang, and Dior. The stone gray Rialto bag might actually be the most beautiful bag I've ever seen in real life. I just love the soft pebbled texture and the vintagey shape of this. So as ever, I'm really grateful to be working with them, and I'll link everything in the description box down below. And the same logic about form and function kind of applies to the capsule wardrobe at large, right? The idea to organize things this way. I want to be able to get dressed without agonizing. I want that part of my day to be a pleasure. Then when I am dressed, I want to feel like there's a balance between personality and creativity and practicality, comfort, durability. Those things are really important to me. Curating a smaller wardrobe within my home, it's like a way of making some of those decisions in advance to optimize the chances of the outcome being good and having all those things in balance. And so far it's really working. But let's get back to the rest of the tour. Okay, so here, this bottom part of the other half of the packs is where I have the rest of my capsule wardrobe. Pajamas and my undergarments and my workout clothes are in the dresser over here. And that's the actual closet in the room. That is where Joe's clothes are. Historically, this kind of thing, which is like little layering tanks and t-shirts and like thinner layering long sleeve shirts. Historically, I've had this kind of thing in my drawers with my underwear or with my workout clothes or with my pajamas, and it's just always been a mess. Always gotten completely jumbled together. So I wasn't expecting to use a little pull-out tray like this for essentially for tank tops and t-shirts, but I have been stacking them like this. It seems a little awkward, but it's actually working out incredibly well. It's making it really easy to navigate this part of my wardrobe. And I depend on this kind of thing a lot, even in the winter, because I love to wear a white tank or a tee layered under a sweater. These aren't all my sweaters, as you may be able to tell. It's a lot, but it's not all of them. I got these pull-out drawers, which are just perfect for sweaters because you can do like the Marie Kondo folding method, gently folding and having it so that all of them are visible. And I have some sweatshirts down here as well. I essentially picked the sweaters that I have right now that I'm the most excited to wear. Classic capsule wardrobe behavior. And I just put them here. The rest of my sweaters are being stored in a pretty organized manner elsewhere in the house. And I've actually been switching the sweaters out pretty frequently because I have a lot of sweaters that I love to wear. Again, so much easier when I get up in the morning and I'm getting dressed and I'm groggy to have kind of made decisions in advance, like created for myself an edit and put it here, and everything is folded, everything, because there isn't that much of it, it's easy to keep it folded, easy to keep it organized. And it's just a lot easier to quickly put together an outfit that is going to keep me warm, be comfortable, and make me feel stylish in my own home. So that's pretty much it, right? The key parts of my capsule wardrobe right now are pants, which are trousers and jeans, collared shirts with buttons, tanks and tees, and sweaters. Like that's essentially what I'm wearing all the time. And then what I would say are sort of the extras, adding a little interest, the like layering jackets, slightly more editorial blouses, and then the couple of skirts and dresses. Okay, so let's talk about how this came to pass. As I said in the introduction, this grew out of practical necessity, right? I was trying to get dressed every day. I was trying to get undressed at the end of every day. And I was just finding myself like in my bedroom with clothes or without clothes, and clothes piling up, nowhere to hang clothes, at a loss. And I was like, I need to have at least a small closet in here. So the seed was just about practicality and like flow of the day. But as you could hear me talking about in the tour footage, the more I thought about it, the more I came to love the idea of having a pretty substantial capsule wardrobe that is at any given time an edit of my larger collection of clothes. I have a lot of clothes. It's more than I had when I was younger. This is partly because I'm 41 years old, right? And I have been deliberately and hopefully, with a sense of curation, like trying and, decluttering as I go. So trying to just keep things that I really love. So in a careful way, I have been collecting clothes all of this time, but those are a lot of years during which to be collecting clothes. And I've ended up with a pretty robust collection, especially because this is also my job. I have more clothes than I had when I was younger, and I definitely have more clothes than I would have if I had taken a different career path. But as it stands, there are a lot of clothes that I really, really love. But at any given time, there are really just some of them that I'm the most actively excited to wear and that make the most sense for me to wear. And that collection changes. Like what it is I'm feeling the most thrilled about wearing, it changes with the seasons and it changes with my moods and what I've been thinking about. I'll like have a pair of pants that I've loved for a long time. I'm just not vibing with it right now. And then 3 months later, I will be really vibing with those pants again. So why not have a physical organization and storage system that reflects the changing tides of my preferences and makes it so that when I go to get dressed, I'm only looking at clothes that are actual realistic prospects for me to wear right now. Let us talk now about what it is that I hope to gain. The absolute number one thing that I hope to gain from having this edited capsule wardrobe is ease of dressing. And I have indicated this throughout, right? I've been saying things to indicate this. This isn't a surprise. It's the main thing. Making getting dressed really easy, making it feel good, giving myself clarity. So I open it, I look, and it's like, oh, I would literally happily wear almost any of these right now. It feels calm and lush. That moment, it feels like a real pleasure. I feel centered. Instead of that feeling of opening a closet and looking and just being like, you can't see the forest for the trees, right? Or you can't see a single tree that you might want to wear or climb because there's so much there that just isn't practical for today, right? Either because it's not seasonal or it's not the right formality level for the day that I'm about to have, or it's just, I'm not vibing with it right now. And I'm just having to weed through all this stuff and do all of this triage in my brain. That can be so overwhelming. I also find, and this is sort of loosely related, but it's a little bit of an addendum to ease of getting dressed. I also found that when we finished the closet and it was ready for me to put clothes into it, the process of going through and deciding what to have in my capsule right now helped me clarify for myself how I'm interested in dressing right now. That work was like doing a bunch of visualizing and dreaming in advance so that I kind of crystallized this micro moment in my personal style, like the micro moment inside of my own existing wardrobe. And crystallizing that in advance has made it so that getting dressed every day is a lot easier because I have a more specific vision and then I have the exact tools for that specific vision right there in front of me and nothing else clogging up the works. The second thing that I hope to gain from this is encouragement from myself and from my surroundings to wear what I consider to be harder pieces, things that are harder for me to wear for one reason or another. It's usually emotional, right? It's like for some emotional or mental reason, it's like harder for me to get myself to wear certain certain things, even if there's not a good reason. Simplification like this puts those things front and center. And I actually talked through this with a couple of the pieces in the wardrobe as I was going through it. So I'm going to insert that footage now, and you can see me actually talking myself through putting on my blazer and explaining why it's easier for me to do that more frequently with the capsule wardrobe. I have a couple of jackets here. I keep jackets here, like my blazer. This is the blazer that I'm trying to wear a lot. Like I'm trying to really, really bond with it, and it's kind of working. Let me put it on real quick. So like even on a day like today when I'm wearing a pretty casual shirt, right, and pretty casual pants, essentially jeans, it still works as a layer of warmth. And I find that at this time of year, I am almost always wanting to wear something wool. So that often means a sweater. But sometimes in the morning, I'm not cold enough yet to wear wool. I end up putting on something like this, kind of get cold throughout the day, but I don't want to layer a chunky sweater over something oversized like this shirt. And the super oversized blazer is the perfect solution to that. And I've talked about this on YouTube so many times. I've talked about it so many times. And I feel like it's so professional looking, or a little bit too much for my little life, my little everyday life. So I tend not to grab it. And having it here in this closet and having it be, it's the minimalism of it all, just in terms of like what's in the wardrobe. So I open the wardrobe and there's just not much here except for these few things. And it makes something like this blazer really leap off of the rack much more readily, gets it in my face more. It's an example of something that there's no reason for me not to be wearing it except for habit. And having an edit like this, such a tight edit, it helps me to change my habits. Okay, the third thing that I'm hoping to gain from this capsule wardrobe system is clarity about what to declutter. Because here's the thing, when you go into all your clothes, big pile, like condo style big pile on the bed or whatever, it's so overwhelming. I feel like if I'm doing a big declutter and I do that, it's hard. It's so much mental triage to clarify for yourself whether or not you're ready to let something go. However, if I have a garment that I select to be one of the chosen few that's in the capsule, and I keep it in the capsule for like 2 months and I never wear it, then I'm never going to wear it. Like that is a true trial. That is like a true test. So I feel like every time I rotate out the garments that are in my capsule wardrobe, if there's something that I didn't wear during the time that was in there, I can just on the spot declutter it. And I'm really looking forward to sort of like a long rolling vetting process of my clothes. And then the fourth thing that I'm really hoping to gain from this is that sense of excitement and renewal that comes from switching out what's in the capsule. I'm not totally sure yet how frequently I'll do it, but I know from doing sort of like a macro version of this, of like putting my spring and summer clothes away in the basement and then getting them out, and same with the winter clothes, like the seasonal changeover that I do twice a year. I know from the experience of that getting things out of sight and out of mind and sort of forgetting about them and then getting them back out again is better than shopping. And it really helps me stay focused on wearing what I already have, reconnecting with the joy that caused me to want to acquire each one of those things to begin with, dwelling in that and like fostering contentment with the way things are now. So it's only been a couple of weeks. So far, it's going incredibly well. I have loved getting dressed in the morning. I've loved opening that wardrobe. I have found myself successfully wearing some things that are historically a little bit hard for me, pushing my boundaries a little bit, putting together slightly more composed outfits. And I actually am also in the middle of filming a video sort of showing you what I've been wearing on many days and talking through my outfits and talking through the way in which those outfits reflect my personal style challenges. So that's another thing. Number 5 on the list actually is that the capsule wardrobe is potentially a site of content creation, and it's going to make it easier for me to showcase the way in which I am basically wearing my same clothes over and over again and recombining them and restyling them and reorganizing them to make everything old new again, which is like one of my main goals for myself in fashion. So how can you do it yourself if you have less space, a smaller space, a completely different number of things, like number of garments, and it's not an option for you to build part of an IKEA PAX wardrobe into the corner of your bedroom and separate your capsule from the rest of your clothes in that way? One option, if you just have one closet and everything's in it, no matter how many or how few clothes you have, if it's just all in one place and there's no other place for your clothes. One option is to just choose part of your closet that is going to be your capsule wardrobe and mentally consider the rest to be off the table. So maybe even like hang a divider and say to yourself, on this side of the divider, those are the clothes that are in play. And every time I open the closet, I'm only going to choose from those clothes. Consider that your capsule wardrobe, and everything else, consider it to be like deep storage. An even more dramatic move, which is something that I actually like a little bit better, if you have a small space like that, if you're working in a small space, is to actually box up everything that isn't in play right now. And even if you have to keep those boxes on the floor of that exact closet, like even if you just take those boxes and put them right underneath where your current capsule wardrobe is hanging, and they're right there, it's still like really separated. And then they're right there. So every 2 weeks or every month or something, you can open those boxes and kind of hang up new things and put other things into the boxes. Even if you can't do it in the same way that I'm doing it, I hope that you will consider it if you think it'll help. I think it would have helped me a lot in other houses I've lived in other phases of my life. I think this would have helped me a lot. And I have kind of tried to do it on and off in various ways. And then this is like the final form, it feels like, of this. But I'm thinking back to places where I had like teeny tiny closets or just a freestanding rack, and I felt overwhelmed by everything that I had. And if I had just thought to really create a capsule within the larger wardrobe and put everything else away and rotate it out from time to time like this, it would have opened up some doors for me with the way that I dressed and the way that I interacted with my clothes. So I hope that you will try it. I hope you enjoyed this. I really enjoyed filming this for you and sharing this space with you. And I'll be back. The capsule wardrobe will be back. At the very least, I'll be back to report about whether or not the perceived benefits have manifested, whether this has worked the way that I hope it will work. Again, I hope you will consider subscribing. I hope you are all well. And no matter what level of productivity you are currently occupying, because sometimes you just need to rest, I hope you are taking really good care of yourself. You know, my hair is kind of dull elsewhere, and then as soon as it's down in front of these lights, it's like a carrot.